to the ribbon cutting and opening of the Seaside Marketplace, right? Got the title right? Okay. This has been, as you can see, there's been a lot of construction and remodeling that's going on here. And my sound man is here. Here at Saquatucket Harbor, and most of the facilities have already been completed and opened, and these are the last of the facilities that are coming to be opened and enjoyed by the public. The Seaside Marketplace here, and later on in the month, the Snack Shack will be opening. But anyway, I'd like to first introduce Julie Cavanaugh, the chairwoman of our Board of Selectmen, to give out a welcome.
Thank you, Ed. I just want to welcome everybody here, and I want to acknowledge how much hard work went into this whole development, landside and waterside, and just acknowledge John Rendon for all the work he's done and the wonderful monies he's brought to our town. I think we should all be incredibly grateful. Great investment in our infrastructure and a great place for our entire town to enjoy, and it's really wonderful to see it come full circle. So thank you, John.
So I wanted to point out John also for overseeing, pulling this whole plan together and pushing it through. I'd like to, before we get on, just introduce some other folks in town. And back next to John is Chief Norm Clark from the Fire Department. And behind John, Adam Hutton representing the Police Department. And other members of the Harbor Master's Office, Michelle Morris and Heinz Prof. We also, other folks that were important in putting this all together are Carolyn Carey and Erica Stresbeck, who are involved in the Cultural Center, and will be overseeing the operation of this. And then one of the things that we've been doing in town is pulling together 2 art districts, and overseeing that effort are Charlene Greenhalgh, our town planner, and Cindy Williams. There she is, the executive director of our Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for helping out with all of this. We've, as you know, this is the effort to revitalize this area has gone on, and there's been many partners involved locally here in town, but also statewide. And with that, I'd like to first introduce Sue Sullivan, who works with the Bach Center and is the Grand Dame of Art Week in Massachusetts.
Thank you. Well, while the skies are gray, Harwich is shining. Why? Because this moment, this gathering, marks more than just the opening and tour of a beautiful new development. It marks more than just a new hub for business and creative entrepreneurs. In my eyes, it's actually more of a celebration of how Harwich is emerging as one of the most exciting creative communities in the state. I have the privilege of acting as the Art Week lead champion, a statewide creative festival of which we're in the midst of today, thanks to the support of the Bach Center and the Highland Street Foundation. In the last week, I've traveled almost 800 miles across the state, experiencing Art Week in many different towns, cities, and neighborhoods. But as a year-round Cape Cod resident, I have a confession to make. I'm biased. And I'm so proud of how Art Week has exploded across the Cape, this year with over 100 events that serve as a timely reminder of why arts, culture, and creativity matter in our everyday lives. Last year, I connected with Erica at the Cultural Center a month before our calendar deadline. She and the Cultural Center team, including Carolyn, and many talented artists pulled together an amazing week of thought-provoking and interesting events. This year, Harwich topped itself, and in fact has set the bar pretty high for the rest of the state. And of course, the Light Up the Night show each night is unrivaled, thanks to Harwich resident Bob Doan. Earlier this week, as part of Art Week, I spent a few hours in Harwich. What did I do? I had an inspiring student tour of the Monomoy High School Art Wing, and met the future of our creative workforce. I took a workshop at the Brooks Library, a local treasure providing inspiration and access for all. I was disappointed that I missed a great event on the Cape Verdean culture at the community center, but that's because I simply couldn't tear myself away from all that was happening at the cultural center, where I met an amazing array of artists, craftspeople, and creative entrepreneurs who were generous with their time and their talent. My day was a perfect snapshot of why Harwich is becoming a creative economy hotspot. A thriving creative economy is one that benefits everyone, and Harwich has gained a starring role as a community that has leveraged their Art Week participation to stimulate increased investments. Elected officials have been inspired to grow creative economy line items in the budget. Your selectmen and town council have enthusiastically endorsed cultural facility projects, and your town champions have made cultural tourism initiatives successful with innovative collaborations and partnerships. These kinds of investments are lighting sparks year-round through renewed cultural and civic engagement. So what better time to celebrate, appreciate, reflect on, and explore the rich vibrancy of your creative community than now, with the opening of this incredible redevelopment site. Congratulations to you all, not only for putting Harwich on the map, but for setting the stage for a future filled with cultural innovation, investment, and inspiration. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, sir. I'd also like to introduce Tina Games, the chairwoman of our Cultural Council.
Thank you. Good morning. What an exciting day for Harwich. I'm Tina Games, chair of the Harwich Cultural Council, and I'm delighted to be here on behalf of the council. Let me just take a moment, because we have a lot of our members here. If you will stand up if you're a member of the Cultural Council, and let's introduce ourselves. Roseanne? Chris, I know Chris is here. Lorinda? Who else is here? Kathy? These are your members of the Harwich Cultural Council. Thank you. And just a little bit about the Cultural Council. We are a town-appointed committee with 8 members. You've seen 5 of us, I think, here today. And we're one of 329 local councils across the Commonwealth who are charged with allocating grant funds for community-based projects and raising cultural and artistic awareness in our town. We work closely with the Massachusetts Cultural Council on a shared goal, which is enriching the cultural lives of our citizens. As I stand here today in Saquatucket Harbor, witnessing this wonderful collaboration and the debut of these artisan shacks, I'm reminded of the commitment we made as part of the Cultural Compact in February 2018. The Harwich Cultural Council, along with the town of Harwich, thanks to Charlene, and the Harwich Chamber of Commerce, thanks to Cindy, entered into an agreement with the Massachusetts Cultural Council for the purpose of spotlighting the significance of a creative economy in our community. The intent behind the Cultural Compact articulated a common vision, defined shared values, and created a framework for creative partnerships between our local government and our cultural leaders in our community. It brought cultural agents to the table to participate in decision-making that affects the cultural life of our town, which can impact economic growth in a positive way. Through the Cultural Compact, Harwich serves as a model for other towns across the Commonwealth, showing the link between arts and culture and the economy, and what can happen when everyone is invested. And with the formation of 2 cultural districts, one in Harwich Center and the other right here where you're standing in Harwichport, all the way up, Saquatucket Harbor right here is going to play a very big role in that. And I just want to say today that Harwich serves as a shining example of a community that values culture and the arts. And look at all of us today. I mean, isn't this great? Here is to our creative economy and all that it brings to Harwich. Arts and culture matter. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Tina. Pulling this all together involved, as you can see, many aspects of the community, and from an administrative point of view, the sort of leader of the team was our town administrator, Chris Clark. Chris, could you?
Good morning. What a great turnout. I just sitting there paying attention. You know, one of the things that comes to mind, I've been the administrator for about 5.5 years. And about 5.5 years ago, when I first started, they said, oh, we're going to give you a middle school. And oh, by the way, we need you to do something with it. And, you know, my first call was to Carolyn. And Carolyn, you know, I know a lot of accolades have gone out, but I don't know where she is. I don't see her right there. But Carolyn has just done yeoman's work. Oh, she's off to the side. And the nice thing about being a team leader is that you have good team. We really do have a good, solid team in Harwich. And when I asked Carolyn, I said, Carolyn, would you be a real estate agent and make this building into an arts center and make it work? She said yes. When I went to Charlene and I said, Charlene, we need to do something with culture. What do you want to do in terms of cultural center? Can you pull people together and work with them? Charlene said yes. And then when I said, and he and I have been through these battles on doing the harbor, John Rendon, you know, John, not only do I need you to oversee and help this project, but I need you to go to the state and see if you can secure some funding for us. $2 million. $2 million John has secured. This is all stuff that is above and beyond what you traditionally would ask for a department head. But when you have a quality organization that not just cares about being an organization, but cares about the community that they serve, good results come out of it. And I would encourage people today not just to look at the art part, but to look at the buildings and to take a tour of the area, because John has done an outstanding job working with the designers and the construction company to make it all work together. And like I always say, you know, I can't do anything by myself, so I need a team of people, and I certainly need the vision and leadership of the selectmen. So I appreciate very much 3 selectmen that are here today that have really helped to shepherd this through. So enjoy the event, and thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Chris. And I guess Chris alluded to the one sort of part of the team that isn't here in town, but was critical in filling in all the nooks and crannies of the project that we had needed here, and that was our partners at the state. And in assisting us to get that assistance, we were no better represented by our 2 state representatives, Representative Sarah Peak and our state senator, my state senator, Julian Sear.
Thank you, Ed, and it's great to be spending a quintessential Cape Cod spring day with all of you. It's a little bit cold, but the sun's coming out. Ed's in shorts anyway, so he's ready for the season to start. But you know how it goes. In a few short weeks, all of a sudden, it'll just pop and be here, and we'll all be in shorts, and there'll be plenty of people here enjoying this revitalized, rebirthed harbor. Want to thank a lot of the leadership and echo the thanks that's been given to the select board, to the town administrator and the town departments who made today possible, to the cultural council and their work, to leadership from just everyday citizens who are doing work here in Harwich, the partnership with Art Week. And Sue, I'm thrilled you're here. I appreciate your particular interest on Cape Cod. I share that parochial interest. But really, when we talk about, I want to acknowledge a former colleague, Representative Kathy Tian, who served with us here in the legislature and now is serving you in Harwich in the community. So right, it literally takes a village to create a village, is what we've got here. And looking at what's been made possible with some good ideas, with some state support, so a $2 million grant from the Seaport Economic Development Council, which is a significant sum and one I think we were proud to help get. The Lieutenant Governor as well has been very active on this, and we can have no better representation than a Representative Sarah Peak, who can't be with us here today, but who is going to bat for Harwich every day, and I get to have a front row seat in seeing her do that. But this is where it's at when we talk about that culture matters, that arts matter, when we look at how do we compete in a global marketplace where there are plenty of beautiful places that have, up and down the coast that have nice harbors and good swimming waters. Maybe they don't have some of the marine mammals that we've got, but they, in a competitive marketplace, right? What's going to attract people? What makes Harwich stands out? What makes Cape Cod stand out versus on all the places you can go? And we know more and more that culture and arts are a tremendous driver of ties within a community, but also in bringing people to a community. And I think this really exemplifies a real effort where you see not only the inclusion of arts in policy, but the real insertion and integration of arts and culture into everything that we're doing. And so, yes, to have a revitalized harbor where the piers look great and there's bathrooms and you've got to have food, and then you're also going to have a cultural attraction, that actually adds up to a lot more than just having a harbor with a boat ramp and some boats. And that's going to generate a whole host of economic activity that's more significant than if we didn't have arts at the table. I'm proud to chair, I'm the Senate chair of the Cultural Caucus in the legislature. This is a reborn caucus. My co-chair is Rep. Mary Keefe from Worcester, and actually the co-chair in the House is, of course, Sarah Peak, because she's been an arts champion. But this is exactly the sort of work that we're trying to promote, to make sure that you have that integration of arts in all policy. Yes, because arts and humanities is part of just that special sauce of what makes us a community, but also because it makes good economic sense. And so thank you for all of the work that you've been doing. Thank you for letting me brag about Harwich and the amazing things that this community is doing, and that we hope to get other communities to replicate, yes, across Cape Cod, but really across the Commonwealth. Thank you for being a shining model on what arts policy and the integration of arts and culture should be. Thank you, congratulations. And thank you very much for having me today. And I think the sun's about to clear, and we're going to cut a ribbon. So, Ed.
I want to sort of reiterate what Chris said, that after we have the ribbon cutting, just don't rush off. Go through the buildings, go through the Harbor Master's buildings, and take a look around. With that, can we get the folks that all were part of the speaking group to come up behind the ribbon to help with that? Where's Erica? Carolyn, I want you up there. You've been as big a part of getting the 4 units of our marketplace up.
Don't run with those.
Okay. So those who are taking pictures, get up and we can get the scissors open and towards the ribbon.
Everyone get in.
There we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you all for being back in the Island Harbor track, there's some coffee, refreshments.